What an absolute nightmare of a day that was. If the weather wasn't bad enough, Manchester United absolutely humbled, humiliated, absolutely put in their place by Spurs at Old Trafford today. This is your live reaction after the dust has settled, after Ten Hag has opened his mouth and gave his excuses, and that bounce back. We will bounce back. We have characters in this team. No, you do not, Eric. You clearly do not, and that was proved that way today. I'm a bit irate. I'm a bit mad. The weather has really dampened the mood. Jay is trying to get a signal over in Mallorca to join us as well. He will come into the show as soon as he possibly can. But we have got lots to get through, and we have got lots of your comments to get through as well. This is your chance, everybody, to have your say and go through everything that's on your mind right now about this absolute shower of shite. Let's not even beat around the bush today. I don't care about swearing. I don't care about anything. Right now, I'm walking out of Old Trafford, drowned, absolutely drowned, after watching an absolute horror show from our football team. It just doesn't get any worse than that today. I'd give it the whole positive vibe. I'd give it everything I possibly could, just in hope that this team would actually feel like going out onto that Old Trafford turf and turning out a performance. But no, that was met with a big fat ass no, wasn't it today, again, for Manchester United. Absolutely humiliated, humbled, battered. I'm lost on words. You guys come up with some in the chat as well. Let me know. Please do give the video a like and get your anger out onto YouTube. Then do what you got to do. Get into the comment section. And, oh, God, is the mic actually on? I'm sorry, guys. I fucking, honestly, I swear to God, absolutely nothing has gone right today. Could you all hear me in the opening section there? Right? I mean, it's quite low. I think I've turned it up now. Like, literally, everything has just gone a little bit Pete Tong today, hasn't it? I say a little bit, like it's gone completely disastrous. It's crazy. I feel like right now I've given up hope of anything turning around at Manchester United. Let's get into that. Like, we're drowned rats, we're wet, piss wet through. The computer is deciding to actually try and let us down as well and just destroy us, as it always likes to do. And really, right now, we're just looking at a team that is incapable of putting in any half-decent performances at all. I'm just going to get into comments straight away on this one. We'll start off with DJ JT with the super chat. Thank you, mate. First time I'm happy that I missed the game. Eric Ten Hag out, Bruno out, Onana out, Rashford out, and, of course, Glazers out. Fuming fan base. So honestly, like, for the fans that was actually left in Old Trafford, the ones that were there still at the end, which there wasn't many of. And again, Stretford End empty. Second home game in a row at Old Trafford in the league where the Old Trafford crowd has just gone. Like, left the stadium. Not bothered at all. And you've just got to look at fans talking with their feet. You've got to look at the reaction of the fans. They're booing at half-time. They're booing at full-time. Bruno Fernandes sent off. The reaction to Ten Hag substitutes. Everything that you could possibly think of that the fans are reacting wise, like the actual reaction shows and everyone giving their opinions outside of Old Trafford today as well. It's been absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And there's absolutely no hope for this team, it would seem. There's nothing that anyone can do, including Ten Hag, that's going to change anything with Manchester United right now, and anything that's going to change our fortunes. Let's just say that. I'm just going to try and bring... right, okay. I don't know why everything is just trying to wind me up royally today. I'll try. Hopefully you can hear me okay and everything is all right. I'm just getting absolutely riled by everything. It's like when it all goes wrong, doesn't it? And right now everything is just testing me right to the max. I don't know why the volume is so low. It's... yeah, it shouldn't be there. Please, just stay there. God's sake, man. What is going on with everything today? Oh, man. Right, I'm going to get Jay in as well in a minute. Bear with me a second, guys. Hopefully, we can get Jay on. He's over in Mallorca. He's spending time out from his night out in Mallorca. I think United have already ruined his day royally. So I'm just going to try and get him on. Bear with us 1 second, everyone. Let's see if we can get Jay on the screen. Like I said, you know when you just need things to just actually work for you, and then they don't? It's just one of them days completely today. There is Jay. We've got him on the screen right now. Jay, can you hear us okay, mate? Over in Mallorca? I can hear you, mate, loud and clear. Sorry about having to disrupt your time over there on your holiday. But, I mean, honestly, what can we say about Manchester United today? I'm just going to give you a little bit of space there and give you your room. But watching over there, you sent me a picture, Jay, of where you was watching it. Were there many other United fans in there watching the game with you? How was it taken? And what was the overall verdict of what people were watching over there? Right, babe. Sorry, Jay. Just give me 1 second. I was just trying to get you off mute right now. 1 second, mate. Oh God, I tell you what. I'm just gonna have to actually just accept that I'm having a horrible day right now. Nothing is working. For God's sake, bear with me 1 second, mate. Right. Okay, I think we've got Jay onto sound now. I don't know why he's gone off my screen. There, he's back again. Okay, Jay, try it again, please, mate. No, now for some reason, Jay is completely muted. When things go wrong, things go completely wrong. Try it again, Jay, please. Go on, mate. Honestly, I give up today. Honestly, I've had enough.
Okay, third time lucky.
Go for it, Jay.
Adam, today was probably my worst experience in many years. United fan. I'm in a bar called fucking Benny Hill Bar in Magaluf, surrounded by Man City fans that are banging on about how they've gone from watching Paulo Walchop to be on the cusp of winning 5 in a row, and they were given to me for the full 90 minutes. And I'd sit there and take it. I just sit there, take the banter on the chin, not more I could do. And just when you're hoping that, second half we'll go 2-4, make it hard for Spurs. We didn't. We capitulated. And that's the worst thing I can say about this team. It is the capitulation again at home. Like this manager, you've been up close and personal with him. You've seen him up close. He's not a motivator. He's not the kind of manager, buddy, at halftime that's going to give you the Al Pacino speech trying to give him Sunday. He's not a motivator. So if his tactics are poor, his man management is poor, and he's not a motivator, well then, Adam, what the fuck does he actually do anymore?
Honestly, mate, I don't know anymore. I've got a couple of super chats that I'll just read out now. Honest Tiger says, was you happy with the lineup before kickoff? Look, it's probably what he could do with the team in terms of his lineups. He's got a full strength squad now, so it's up to him to use it. You could have taken Bruno out of that side for me easily, and we'll probably get onto him in a minute. Jordan, thanks for renewing your membership. He's also donated one, and that's been taken by Wayne Shevlin, and has just donated another one as well, which has also been taken by Ryan86. Thanks for that, Jordan. Another super chat in from DJ John JT. But who should we get as manager, Adam? I mean, we'll come to that eventually, but in terms of Ten Hag, he's also come out after the game and said that this team will bounce back, Jay. Is that enough for you? We've got characters in the team, he said. We will bounce back. We will come back again. It just feels again like he's got so much time to get this right, and it just doesn't seem to feel like he cares about what's actually happening, how long it's taking to actually get results.
So, Adam, after an energetic performance where the Stretchford end is emptied, I think after 70 minutes, the amount of red seats, empty seats sitting there, and he brings out bullshit about bounce back. That statement alone tells me he simply doesn't get what it means to be manager of this club, and he's not good enough. And he would never, ever be good enough. Look, Adam, last December when he fucked up Champions League football, I finished bottom of the group. I wanted him out then. I want him out since. And for me, Adam, and people watching, the worst thing that happened to us was win the FA Cup. If he got smacked by City last May, no FA Cup, he'd have been sacked, plain and simple. And yet, now we're stuck with him. He's got to go. He's got to go tonight.
Got to go tonight. Not even seen the week through for you, Jay. No, that's enough. Humiliated by Spurs at home.
Adam, after we got beaten the first time by Liverpool 7-0, the jury was out then. But it's our worst start in Premiership ever. We've won 1 game in 9 in European football. Like, he's rewriting the stats in a negative manner. Like, we thought Solskjaer came out with some bangers and Moyes for him. And I was no fan of Solskjaer, but Solskjaer's numbers, Solskjaer's stats were far superior to Ten Hag. And he'll bang on about injuries, he'll bang on about winning FA Cups. I don't care. He is simply not good enough.
No, definitely. I mean, you looked from the get-go, like everyone's seen my fan reaction outside the stadium. Everyone started to watch everyone else's. It's all on the same thing. It's like, how do you go into the game being so ill-prepared and allowing a centre-back to run the whole length of the pitch again, having only 3 days before had a full-back run the whole length of the pitch and also score against you at Old Trafford. And then, like I said, Jay, within 2 minutes, Van der Ven, great player. All respect in the world for him, rapid, but somebody's got to make a decision there. And not only that, Jay, the fact that nobody was watching Brennan Johnson, everyone was just in awe of Van der Ven running through. We just watched him run through and then play the ball across. Everyone turns around, and then we've got the Brighton scenario again. Oh, we forgot about that man at the back stick. What about him? How are you not... my look on this, Jay, and I'll get your opinion on what I said actually, was... When you go out onto the pitch, first half, the players, you've got the manager's message and the manager's plan ringing in your ears. His words are there; they're fresh in your head. You've got to be switched on and ready. And it just looked like there was nothing there in these players. They just look like shells right now, Jay. And I found it inexcusable how you would be so open and not ready for the start of the game like that. And it pretty much finished us off within 2 minutes. And it was humiliating to watch.
Yeah, you're spot on. To be and not mentally switched on in the first 2 minutes is shocking. If that goal happens 30, 40 minutes and you say, okay, fair enough, concentration is last. But from the whistle goes, you're at home. It's literally like a cup game today. We needed a win and players not switched on. Like, a player running length of the pitch 2 games in a row, surely somebody would step up and just take a yellow card. Just take a fucking yellow. Nobody's getting sent off in the first 2 minutes of a game. Let's be fair. Take a yellow card. Take one for the team. And not one player had the balls to actually do it. And that, Adam, is testament to a club, a team, weak mentality.
Talking about red cards, Bruno took one. First of all, Bruno was a player that we all needed to have a great game, Jay. He needed to turn up today, Bruno Fernandes. I thought he was poor up to his red cards. I thought he was throwing... honestly, he just looked desperate in that tackle. He was trying too hard again. And when Bruno isn't playing well and is trying to force it, this time it's even worse in getting the red card. And he's just dropped his team. That's the captain of the team. He's dropped his team well and truly in it. I want to get the reaction to the red card first of all, Jay, and I've got a second bit to come on that. But first of all, the red card. Was it a red card for you and Bruno's reaction and what Bruno was doing, Jay? Like, what's going through a player's head at that moment?
Okay. Probably not. I thought the red was harsh, but Bruno's performance for that was poor. His passing was poor. Decision making was poor, and he was just general malaise in his play. His leadership qualities are coming to question. So your leader, your captain, results to rashness when he's not playing well. The team is down, and that's what he does. His reaction to the red card is typical Bruno. He's a headless chicken. He's not a leader. He never will be. And Ten Hag would probably make excuses about playing with 10 men. Bullshit. You play with 10 men, second half, football 1-on-1, 2 lines of 4. And what does Ten Hag do? Leave the midfield as open as the Grand Canyon. That's in the manager.
Yeah. A second part to that red card was the players' reaction and the fact that it just felt like that. It felt in the stadium, Jay, watching it, that the game was over. It was done. There was nothing left. The players, like, they'd lost the captain. It just seemed complete disruption. I'm not saying it changed the game. It made the game easier for Spurs. I don't want to take anything away from them. But, again, like, the whole squad, Jay, it just fell apart for every single player. Dalot was a mess all over the place. You had Mazraoui struggling at right back for the first time. He was just being overloaded. We have De Ligt and Martinez going in for tackles that just weren't there. Like suicidal moments in terms of recklessness within this team. It's the professionalism is probably the word I'm looking for here, Jay. It's non-existent in one of the greatest clubs that there ever was, that there ever is, Manchester United, one of the so-called pin-up biggest clubs in the world. The professionalism within this team right now, I cannot believe what I'm watching, Jay. I really can't. There is nothing there at all.
Like, Adam, you watching football 20 years plus. How many times have you seen teams go 10 men and every man ups their game 2-3%?
Arsenal
Heads
last
up,
week against
think
City.
of galvanized, but our boys fucking capitulated. Heads dropped. And as you said, it was game over. I just don't think they have the mentality, many of those players, play for this club. Because at 10 men, you fight for that jersey for 90 minutes. You fight for the fans coming to the game. And you just fight for a bit of bloody pride. Today, I saw no fight, no pride. And that was every United player in the pitch today.
It was. It's painful that none of them actually do. Like, I'm not saying that they don't care. It's just, where is the pride and the control and the professionalism within this team when things go wrong? It is non-existent. I can't see a bounce back. Adam says, Tom Boyce, DJ John has already said that one. Another gifted membership from London. Thank you for that. Mark says, Ineos have to make a statement tonight. Back or sack him, says Mark. English Dan, I can't say the rest of that now. English Dan Rev says, sack him now and hope for a bounce in form to give the players some confidence. We are going backwards and it's cost us 600 million. Another super chat in from Flash Talks. Give Rude a 2-year deal now. Sick of interim FC. And another gifted membership from Honest Tiger. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate all of the donations, guys. There is a poll up right now in the chat. Is this the end for Ten Hag? 83% of the vote, which is creeping up to 1,000 votes already, is saying 84. In fact, that's just gone up to Ten Hag is done. Yes, he is finished. I'm going to get into some of the comments. Fair enough, Bruno should have been dropped. Let's see what happens without him, lads. Well, forced into dropping Bruno now because he's actually out suspended for 3 games, which is key. Marcus, welcome to the Members Club, which was the gifted one from Honest Tiger. The judge says, I think it is totally wrong to talk about the mentality as it is the same with new players coming in. This is all on Ten Hag. Jay says, hi lads, if you were running a business and your employers were consistently underperforming, you would replace them. Enough said. In any other walk of life or any other business, Jay, Ten Hag is a goner. He is the man at the top. He is the man that's calling the shots. I just, like you said, Den, you don't see inspiration. Talking to Kaz on the way home, you could just picture that dressing room. And you said it at the top of the show, Jay, like you've been up close to Ten Hag. He doesn't inspire anything. When you need a pick-me-up, I think the biggest clear sign to players being motivated by a manager is how you come out and start the game. And how you come out after half-time when the chips are down. What's the reaction? The reaction from United players was what you just said then. Pretty much disaster, Jay. And that there tells you that there is no inspiration coming from the changing room. I listened to Alan Pardew. When the players are the way they are, when Eriksen's coming out and saying that FC20 wanted it more than us the other night, there is clearly an issue within the changing room that they're not happy in what they're playing with. Do you feel like he has lost this changing room? Like, straight out answer to that one, Jay, please, mate.
I'd Adam, and I'd ask, did he ever have it in the first place?
Yeah, could say that. You could say that. I mean, from what Mark said as well in the super chat, when do you feel Ineos need to react to this, Jay? Do we need to hear something very quickly? Did he give him the week? 2 more games? Make the decision where it's easier over international break after Sunday's game against Aston Villa? Or do you feel like...
Look, I think it's got to be cold, heartless react tonight. I'm sure Ruben Nistelrooy can be caretaker for a couple of games and then make a choice on who's going to take it going forward. Guy said in the chat, give it to Ruben for 2 years. No, I wouldn't rush in a knee-jerk reaction, give it to Ruben for 2 years. Not a chance. Next couple of games, let him have it. Remember when Michael Carrick took over as intern before Ralph came in? Carrick did okay for a couple of games. He stayed his ship. So let Ruud do it for a couple of games. Why not? There's nothing to lose, mate.
Yeah, I mean, where would you be looking now, Jay? Like, we're talking, like, I think the conversation can go this way now. Like, we are talking about another manager or another coach. Where do you see United going? Like, in terms of your own opinion, and I'm not holding you to this. We're not the ones that should be making this decision. It's down to Ineos now. But type of manager, do you feel like it's going to be that coach type manager rather than a manager who is going to run the club, for instance? Because we've got enough people, enough players in positions now at United to actually run and make sure that this squad is good enough and the right type of players are coming in. You just need a good coach to actually get the best out of them. That's how I felt about it. Don't be deterred from what I said, Jay. Who do you think, what type of manager do you think is ideal now for United?
Okay. Well, my football philosophy, my sports philosophy, it's very old school. I'm very authoritarian. Do I manage people? I give you a job to do. If you can't do it, I'll find somebody better who will. And that's just why I am. Regarding Ten Hag, he's simply head coach. He's nothing more, nothing less. So the Ineos lads are not going to go along and hire a guy like an Ancelotti kind of character that wants to be oversee football operations, oversee transfers, training and whatnot. They're going to hire another coach. But I just hope when they do, whatever coach they hire is an authoritarian, is a motivator, and is a leader. And most importantly, has a clearly defined football philosophy and has a plan B and C when plan A doesn't work. And the last 3 years, when plan A works, it's great. We won 2 cups, but there's never plan B or plan C. So a coach with plan B and plan C who's a motivator. That's right now, I settle for that.
Yeah.
As in names, right now, Adam, I don't have one.
Yeah, no one does. That's the tough thing. I feel like that is a lot of that's got a lot to do with why Ten Hag is still in a job, because I don't think there's anyone clearly out there right now. Alien has dropped 5 memberships in. Welcome to the members club. Ewan, the Judge, Viking Red, WUJMT, and JT as well. We have another super chat in from Mark Lambridge, who says there is no way Ruud didn't go in on the players at half-time. If he didn't, I wouldn't want him to take charge. So let me just read that again. There is no way Ruud didn't go in on the players at half-time. If he didn't, I wouldn't want him to take charge. So do you feel like Ruud has had any influence at all? Because let's look at it, Jay, and break everything down factually right now. It is the worst start to a season after the best pre-season and summer that United have had under Ten Hag. He's got new coaches in that have made zero difference to the outcome on the pitch. You could say there's been some moments in certain games where United have played a little bit better as a team, created chances against Palace. Obviously, we didn't put chances away. But from scoring 10 goals in one-off games against Southampton and Barnsley, we were talking at the start, Jay, before this group of games came in, and we said we needed 7 points. We've got 1 game left, and we're on 4 points. Does it all come down to Villa? Do we have to stick to where we're at, where we was in terms of points, or is it just now what we've watched on the pitch, just too much to take, and nothing has changed? It's horrendous to start to this season. I'll say it again. The league table is on the screen right there. Manchester United are in 12th position with the 3 teams above them, are Brighton, Forest and Brentford. Manchester United, Jay, have scored 5 goals this season. Only Southampton and Ipswich have scored less, and Ipswich scored 2 today. It is officially our worst start to a season under Ten Hag, and he's calling for bounce backs.
Those numbers, sobering to say the least. Like, go back to those 10 goals, those mythical 10 goals. The sun shines and every dog's arse wants to life at him. It's like, we've all had that one friend that never ever pulls, and one that he's out and don't know what happened. Maybe he's aftershave or his nice t-shirt and he puts a stunner. And we're all thinking, how the fuck did that happen? Those 10 goals were a blip. Park them. They're a blip. There's nothing more, nothing less. Worst start to the season. Porto on the horizon. Villa. And when we did that show, maybe start of last month, we said it was 4-7 points. I said we would get 4 points before national break. 4. We ain't beating Villa, my friend. And I think we get a point against Porto during this week. That's it. That's where we are.
Do you feel like the results would change if another manager was in situ right now? Or would you not throw a manager in at this point because of these tough games? It would be worse. What I'm trying to say, Jay, is if you're Ineos right now and you're looking at Porto away, not ideal, and then Aston Villa away, wait until them 2 games have gone, give the new manager a chance over international break rather than throwing him in right now into them 2 games, because it's a bit of a lamb to the slaughter sort of scenario, isn't it?
Look, also then flip it around. If it's Rude to come in for a couple of games, and maybe Rude, and we don't know what's happened in changing room, end of the day, his assistant manager, maybe Ten Hag has requested that he doesn't give his full bollikins out at halftime, that Ten Hag is the manager, it's his place to be the final word in the year. So maybe that's the dynamic. We don't know that. So I would just be very simple right now. You've got a plaster and a cut, pull the plaster off, start again, and give Rude 2 games and see what happens. Because right now, mate, as I said, we've nothing to lose. These players are rudderless.
It does. It feels shameful. Here's a stat for you. You'll like the name of the YouTube comment as well. Shenanigans has said, thanks for the super chat, Shenanigans. Spurs had more XG than we have all season at home in 1 game. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. It's all I'll say. Honestly, the stats are mind-boggling. Still, I remember, Jay, when you said the other day you sat there with Ten Hag, you sat in front of him and you know the character that he is. And you know what? This game against FC20 was off the back of a 0-0 draw, obviously, previous weekend against Crystal Palace. And Jamie Jackson of The Guardian sat behind after all these questions were being asked about fixture pile-up and managing. And United had an all right game against Palace, but not took the chances. And everything was still on a little bit of a positive. Jamie Jackson from The Guardian came out and asked a question to Ten Hag and said, are you worried that your forwards are gun-shy? Basically, translation, you're not scoring goals. And we haven't really had a shot in anger since then. Like 1 goal against FC20, humdinger from Ericsson, and then nothing again, another blank. It couldn't have been more on point. It couldn't have been more on point, Jake. And I just look at it and I go, the players just look deflated. The players look like they haven't got a creative bone in their bodies right now. It just looks like they don't want to play for Ten Hag. That's how it seems. It comes across that way. And someone came up to me, Jay. He'd come over from Derry in Ireland for the game. And he came up to me outside today and he said, pleasure meeting you, Adam. I'm here. And his words to me were, and this reminded me of you, Jay, when you came along, why does it seem so much worse when you actually hear? And I went, because you can see the body language, mate. You can see the players. And you know what else he said to me? He says, I could also see the runs that weren't being made. I could see why Manchester United don't score goals. And sometimes you do have to be there just to witness what United are like off camera and what the players are actually like. There is zero enthusiasm for the fans to get behind. And you know that yourself, Jay. And I thought, you know what? He said it. That's another person that's come up and said, actually, up close and personal, it looks 20 times worse watching United.
Yeah, it does. And so the Arsenal game, you hit it in the head there. You said the runs that are simply not being made because the players don't have the wherewithal to do it. They just can't be arsed. And it's a shame to say that we have players on money per week that you and I be watching could dream of, and they can't be arsed to make runs off the ball. So that Derry man today, if you're watching, won't say you enjoyed the game, but at least you got to meet Adam and you got to have a chat.
Yeah, that was it. Like, the people were just going to Old Trafford, and Saeed says it to me as well. He says, look, I just go for the crack now to meet my mates, have a chat, talk football beforehand. Like, afterwards, I give up like hope of anything happening with this team now. It just looks devoid of any sort of like direction. Please give the video a like as well, guys. We're creeping up to 1,300 people in the room live with us right now. Please do give the video a like. We're creeping up to 300. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you share the video and you have subscribed to Forever United TV. We have more content coming out all the way through the night, from reactions right outside the ground instantly after that game. It was not a happy place. Even the most positive United fans who I know, it felt like they'd given up today. That was the final nail in the coffin. Get into the comment section. Get talking live to me now. I'm going to come to your comments in a minute, everybody. I just want to know if you feel like that was just too much and it is the end. 83% of you in a poll, of which over 1,000 people have voted in now, are saying this is the end for Ten Hag. 83%. We're going to keep that running all along. This is unacceptable to have a full squad available, spent nearly 700 million and being 12th in the league. And again, -3 goal difference. Aminor with a super chat. Thank you, Aminor. Big up, Jay. We sack Erik Ten Hag, but Bruno still be here. Bruno Fernandes. Jay, could that be a bit of a blessing in disguise? Bruno now being out for 3 league games?
Well, you and I, people in the live chat, have been calling for Bruno to be dropped the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I think that it's an ironic blessing in disguise. I'm all for it. And actually, a former player messaged me at halftime. I won't mention the man's name, but you know who he is. And he said, "Finally, we got what we need. Bruno on the bench by default."
Yeah, I know. Oh God, it seems wrong saying it like that. It does, doesn't it? But we're like, we want to see change, but we want to see it made by the coach, the man at the top, the man in charge. He just doesn't look like he's got the balls to make the calls. We've said it all along. Yes, it was the end for me. No excuse. Fit players who don't care, says Babs. Babs has given up. Kieran says, we fired coaches for bad results. Erik Ten Hag is now hitting the worst, in capitals, results, and he is still here. It's amazing. That's sweet. Bruno staying on the pitch would have changed nothing. Director of football, Rabiot was a big miss. Relying on a 19-year-old Mainu was Erik Ten Hag's decision. Hoping Mount would come good. Eriksson should have been only played in Cam as a rotational for Bruno, who Erik Ten Hag refuses to sub. Ineos can't wait any longer, have to act, says Gavin. John says, first half couldn't string 3 passes together. Look, in the second half, Jay, whereas it was a lot of people were looking at United gave a little bit more effort, I thought it was quite embarrassing that we were actually giving it a go. It felt like they had to do it just for the fans' sake. They were trying to keep face, it looked like to me. They were just looking like they were trying to just give some little bit of something back, which is obviously a standard. Some people will say, well, they showed some pride in the second half. Bollocks. They were just doing it out of sheer desperation to look not completely stupid to me, Jay. But again, like people saying in the comment section, if you can't pass the ball 10 yards, something's going wrong on the training ground. Something is drastically wrong. A professional player, players who've won trophies, have won everything that there is to bleed and win some of them, can't pass the ball 10 yards. It hit all new levels of embarrassment today for a lot of players and the manager, Jay.
Okay, first of all, Adam, I'm not having that where we had a perfect patch second half. Ange didn't have the balls to go out and score 5 or 6. Spurs gave us the ball. They were like, "We got our 3 points, lads. Off you go. Have a little touch there for yourselves." They gave us the ball, mate. That was my view of it. And you're saying then about not stringing passes together. Like my under 12 team, all summer long, the last 20 minutes of the session, they play 2-touch game with the coaches, and the coaches play with them 2-touch, and it's ping balls. They're 10, 11-year-olds, and we make them play 2-touch for 20 minutes. They're only babies. So when I see professional footballers that can't string passes together, I'm thinking you're either technically inept or you just don't give a shit.
Yeah. I would have to go with a second, because we know the technically got the quality to play this football. Then you look at the mentality. Everyone always comes down to the mentality. The conversations of how good players are, tactics, formations, everything like that. Everyone comes to me at this all the time. And yeah, maybe a little bit dinosaur and old school in what I say. But I know the one thing that's important. There's only one thing important in football, and that's between the ears. The mentality of these players. And too often now, you're getting most Manchester United players using it as an excuse. Well, everyone else is shit. And I can tell you something else, Jay, right now. Negativity spreads twice as fast as positivity. It does. We all know this in any walk of life. And that is Manchester United summed up right there. It is a case of United, when the chips are down, it spreads like fucking wildfire in our Manchester United team. It really does. It is embarrassing to the professional football trade that Manchester United are this bad. I think people will be laughing at Manchester United right now, but a lot of people will be looking at this football team, Jay, right now, and they'll be in utter shock at how poor Manchester United are. And I think that's the most damning bit. I'll come to you in a second, Jay. I'm just going to read through some super chats. Cheers for these as well. Thanks again, Mark. That's a few you've done tonight. Adam, I have been Eric Ten Hag in right up until now. You know that. And how he has to go. And now he has to go. But when these players earn more than 99% of the world and they don't try for 90 minutes and give 100%, they should get out of the club. I do feel like the players are trying. I do. I just feel like they're just doing it all wrong. They are doing it all wrong. I can see pressing. I can see effort. I can see players running. But it just looks like headless chickens all over the pitch. They don't know what they're actually doing. And that's the biggest issue we've got. Cheers for that one, Mac. English Dan says, the feeling now is just like Ollie after Watford. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. Shenanigans is back in with another super chat. He signed or promoted 16 of the 20 players available today. The other 4 he feels are the best of what he inherited. It's completely unacceptable. And one more super chat from John O'Neill says, my under-7 team can pass better. We won 7-3 yesterday. I think as a few people would say, a lot of teams would pass better than this Man United side. But Jay, from what I was just saying there, in terms of the mentality of this team, I want to go into what Mark said in the first super chat as well. Do you feel like the players are trying to you, or do you feel like they are just passing time, really, like accepting the inevitable?
They're like factory workers. They're clocking in. They're doing the minimum. Not trying to bring too much shade in themselves, knowing full well that ultimately the supervisor is getting the bullet before them, and then comes new supervisor will come in, and for about 6 weeks they'll up the numbers, up production, up KPIs, achieve goals, and then go back into the rut again. That's why I said earlier, I want an autocratic coach coming in that would take no shit from these players.
Do you feel like Ten Hag is that type of coach, though? Because he has acted with the Ronaldo situation, the Sancho situation. Or is it like a manager that's got that mentality for you, Jay, and has obviously got a plan as well? Because the players ultimately will accept like a manager like Ten Hag, and like the hard hand of things. You at United, standards are high, but I think the players look at Ten Hag and go, I don't think he is the right man. I don't think he knows how to get the best out of this team. And I feel like that's where these players are at right now. I mean, again, there is no one out there, like you said, Jake, who could come into Manchester United right now. But in terms of characters of a manager, like you said, it's the hard hand, but he does at least have to have a plan alongside it. The perfect man was in the opposite dugout for me today, Jake. I'll say that. I think that is a Manchester United type of manager there in Postecoglou, I feel.
Yeah, not a bad point. But if you go back, right, when we had the autocratic manager, we had the motivator, we had the tactical plan. It was Mourinho, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? What happened there? Woodward chose Paul fucking Jogba over Mourinho and sacked Mourinho. So Mourinho was given the hard hand. He had his tactics. Yeah, we didn't like it. We were hard to beat, but fans didn't like it. He was a motivator. Players were literally, the old phrase, running through brick walls for him. The boys didn't switch off. We got the Europa League. We won the League Cup. I firmly believe had he gotten backed the way Ten Hag has been backed in the market, the conversation would be different right now. But that's by the by.
Yeah, it is. I feel like we've had managers before that would have actually prospered under this new structure. I really do feel like the previous managers that have been at Manchester United would be doing better than what Ten Hag is doing with the backing that Ten Hag has had, I feel, because even before Ineos came in, you just mentioned then, like Jose Mourinho with Paul Pogba, like Manchester United backed Ten Hag over Cristiano Ronaldo, for God's sake. It doesn't get bigger than that. So Jose would have had the backing, even with Murto and Arnold, I feel, better than what he had with Ed Woodward and the player power phase age of Manchester United. But again, I am actually struggling, Jay, and this is the only reason, again, and going back to what you said, I'm struggling to think of a manager out there to come in right now. I just don't know who it would be. I don't care for people talking about Allegri and managers like this. I don't know if that's the right fit. I don't know, Jay, is the answer. And that's the worrying part of it, that they might be in that same position and just going, there's no one else to come in. We have to stay with him.
And Adam, was that not the conundrum that we faced in the summertime after he won the FA Cup? Like no doubt that the Ineos were sniffing around other candidates, but I think my analysis was that unfortunately he became the best pick of a bad bunch. And that's a very poor indictment of the managers that are currently available.
Yeah. Mark says our players can't run through a wet paper bag right now. True. Very true. In terms of managers that could possibly come in for Manchester United, like looking like at the managers we were going through in the summer, is there any of them managers that you wish was here right now, Jay?
Well, I go back to two words I used: autocratic and tactical plan. It would have been Tuchel. He would have been a guy in summertime I would have gone for. Yeah. But obviously Ineos did research on him and realized that he would not work under our structure and he'd be a maverick and he'd be a problem. Therefore, didn't hire him.
Yep. And then you're looking at the McKennas, the De Zerbis of this world. I would have loved Nagelsmann. To be honest, I don't even want to get into the new manager sort of conversation. Ineos have to deal with the situation in hand first of all. I'm thinking, like, I am agreeing with what a lot of people are saying at the moment, that it has to happen soon. Like we cannot, like, they're putting the fans through so much misery right now. I find myself, I honestly, Jeff, I'm arguing with myself constantly right now. I'm thinking, I don't want to put a manager straight in to this next two games because I know they're difficult. And then you'd give like the Ten Hag in as the fuel. And these are like the hard Ten Hag in that just say, look, it's just the players. It's just the players. You give them the fuel to say, look, it's not working under any other manager now. Look at this, 2 straight away defeats against 2 tough sides. It doesn't matter. Everyone's just looking at the stats right now like we are for Ten Hag and it being so bad. And anyone coming in this week, if they lose 2 games, they're just going to jump straight onto them as well. And we're back to where we was, and we open up a fresh can of worms. Again, coming back in like with no idea what to do right now. But you would hope, Jay, that a proper football structure would have a plan for this, because they're the ones that have backed this manager with nearly quarter of a billion again this summer, you would just hope that they know what is coming next and they've got a plan in place, wouldn't you?
One would hope that, but how many times, Adam, have you said on your show that next season their financial plan is based on Champions League football and the riches that will give us? Plus, if we're not playing Champions League football this next season, the following season, what caliber player are we going to attract? I know the model has changed. We're not signing, 24, 25 anymore. We're signing the younger players. But younger players now, even for young lads, 19, 20, they want to be in a club that can develop them and give them Champions League football every season. So, in the case of if they wait, say, until Christmas, right, and we're languishing down in 8, 9 place in the league, top 4 is gone. And God forbid, if we were in danger of not finishing in top 8 in the Europa League to get straight into the next round, we're looking then at playing a playoff, more games. So I really believe, I use the analogy of the plaster. Pull the plaster now and fucking move on. He's done.
Yeah, you're pretty much echoing what Kaz said to me. Like, just rip the plaster off. You're just denying the inevitable. You're delaying the inevitable, sorry. He's going to get sacked. So why not do it now and try and salvage the season? We are now, as I see it, I think 6 points off top 4 after 6 games. Let's not even get into -3 goal difference, which is ridiculous. Again, I can't remember the last time, Jay, we were actually in the plus for goal difference. And again, I was listening to Alan Pardew talking on TalkSport driving home from the game, and he said the same thing. It's like, take everything out. Take points out, take league positions out. If Manchester United, yes, and he said it like this, Manchester United are finishing a season on -1 goal difference in 8th in the league, just the -1 goal difference on its own, the alarm bells are ringing straight away. You're 6 games into the next campaign. You've won 1 game in 3 at home. You are -3 goal difference. At home this season, Manchester United have 3 points and -5 goal difference, scoring 1 goal at Old Trafford. If that's happening to Manchester United right now, there is a big red alarm going off above the building saying problem. Big problem right here. The stats are off the scale ridiculous for Manchester United right now, and everybody from the outside can see it. I listened to all of the journalists after the game. I've been talking to him all week, and they've said the same thing. He isn't seeing out October. Every single one of them. This was before the 20 game and before today. God knows what they're thinking right now. Honestly, I've listened to bits of Ten Hag. I don't want to listen. I will listen back later on, probably, Jay, so I can talk about it maybe tomorrow, but I just don't want to hear his voice right now. He just doesn't inspire me, and he just says all the wrong things. But the minus goal difference thing, Jay, is that important to you? Like, are points more important? Do you look at the goal tally and the goal difference and go, like, inevitably, we're going to perform bad if this is what we're looking at goal difference-wise as well?
Adam, the stats speak for themselves. They're shocking. I never thought in my lifetime I would see United on minus goal difference, or even be speaking about minus goal difference. It's unheard of for us as United fans, even fathom it. But yet, that's where we are right now. Again, it's rare on Master Words, right? But those stats there, you said the flashing red light. Remember Ralph Radnick's big speech about open heart surgery?
Yeah.
This club needs open heart surgery, an orthopedic surgeon, a cardiothoracic, plastic surgery. It needs the whole shooting gallery. And we thought when Ian have come in that we'd started working on the aesthetics. But right now, the heart of that team is the manager. And that heart has burst all 4 chambers.
It has. Actually, I've got another stat to add to it, actually, because I said after the game, there's only Ipswich and Southampton who have scored less goals than Manchester United. We can now make that just Southampton, because Ipswich are now level with us as well. Officially 19th for goals scored in the league this season. And our defensive record, which I was holding up quite high as something to argue with and against, just took an absolute battering today with Spurs winning 3-0 at Old Trafford. I honestly, Jay, I look at the table now and I'm looking at the games. Like, our next league game is Aston Villa, as we know, who at home are formidable. They're absolutely brilliant. I'm actually looking at Brentford at home coming after the international break as a really, really tough game for Manchester United and a must win. It feels like we're having a mid-table 6-pointer right now, because if we don't beat Aston Villa, we are 100. To be honest, Jake, we are going to finish bottom half of the table going into the second international break of the season, even if we win, which tells you everything you need to know right now. I'm looking at the teams below us that could probably take us if things go wrong next weekend. We could be languishing. I mean, right now we're only 4 points off the relegation zone, which is scary on its own, and we're not going to get relegated, I know, but you just have to look at the teams that are around us now, and out of sight are the teams that we thought we would be competing with at the start of the season. That should be enough, should it not, to just pull the trigger and say he's just not got it?
Like, Adam, the biggest indictment now on Ten Hag is no club, no player fears coming to Old Trafford and playing against that side. Not one. Like 20 Wednesday night, they deserve the point and credit to them, but they had no fear whatsoever. You referenced Brentford, when Bueno, he ripped through our midfield. So there was a comment on one of your shows, I can't remember what man made it, and he said he's watching United 60 years, and United have had 2 purple patches, Busby and Ferguson, and that was the club. And I wish I could remember the gentleman that made it. I think it was one of your shows yesterday or today. You know who he is. When I read that, it really put the club into perspective. 2 purple patches in 50 years.
Yeah. That was it, wasn't it? Oh, God. Scary. Absolutely scary. It is. Listen, Jake, we could go on all night. I can see all of the comments piling up. I just stay and hang in there, guys, is all I can say. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone on the show tonight for joining us. It's a lot to get through, and it's a horrible, horrible time as a United fan. But we're all together on the show. We've all got our opinions. No one is being a certain agenda-driven, anti-certain player or manager or anything. We just deal with facts, and we have better standards. I feel. I think a lot of people are feeling them right now. And I don't think they want to accept where the club are trying to take us, or maybe where Ten Hag is taking us more than anything. Quickly, just a super chat in for Matt before we finish. Play a mass at left back. Mount in for Bruno. Drop Rashford and Xerxes and bring in Rasmus and Ahmad. And we will be 10 times better. I'm telling you now. Want to gamble, play Xerxes as a 10. We can make all the changes that you want. I just don't think Ten Hag, if he is in charge, is going to make them changes, and that's the biggest thing out of it. Please give the video a like, everybody. That will take us over 400 live likes, I'm pretty certain, by the end of the show. But, Jay, I know you're on holiday over there in Mallorca. Absolute pleasure having you on, mate, and thanks for spending the time on this evening when you could be out drinking cocktails, talking about a shocking performance by Manchester United.
Look, Adam, we're good mates. It's good to be here, and sooner or later, no longer will our shows become therapy. Sooner or later.
God, I hope so, mate. I hope so. Thank you, everybody. All of the super chatters, all of the members and donations, everyone in the chat, mods for doing a great job in the live chat. Thank you, everybody. And that is us finished. Do check out the rest of the content. We have more reaction from Old Trafford coming up on the channel now. That is just leaking out, so go and watch them. Go and watch my reaction as well. There are many more coming out as throughout the evening, and then we will be back tomorrow as well. Thank you, everybody. Absolute crazy, crazy time at United. But we live it together, and we will be back again. There's going to be a big, big breakdown coming through this week now. Will we hear news on Ten Hag? We will wait and see, and we'll bring you the news here on FUTV United TV if anything does get announced. But we'll just have to wait on that one. Cheers, everyone. Have a good rest of whatever's left of your evening. Don't let United ruin it. And we'll catch up with you all tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.